Very good morning, dear children. Let us start our today's class with a prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Dear children, we have seen the first part in the previous video. Animal Kingdom is the lesson, and up to 17.1.2 we have seen in the previous video. So from this video, we are going to see about 17.2 invertebrates. So in that invertebrates, first we are going to see about Poriferas, phylum Porifera. So pore bearers or phylum Porifera. These are multicellular, non-motile aquatic organisms commonly called as sponges. They exhibit cellular grade of organization. In the previous case classification, we have seen about the level of organization. So there are two levels of organization. One is cellular level, another one is tissue level organization, organ system, like that. So this Porifera belongs to cellular level organization type. Body is perforated with many pores called ostia. Its body have many pores. I am going to show you another picture of Porifera now. I hope you can able to see many pores in that body. That is nothing but ostia. So water enters into the body through ostia and leads to a canal system. It circulates water throughout the body and carries food, oxygen. The body wall contains spicules which form the skeletal framework. So the reproduction is by both asexual and sexual methods. Some example of this Porifera is Cycon and Euplectella. Next we need to see about Cnidaria. Other name for Cnidaria is phylum Coelenterata. Coelentrates are aquatic organism, mostly marine, and some are freshwater. These are the Cnidaria. Jellyfish, yes. They are multicellular, radially symmetrical animals with tissue grade of organization. So the phylum Porifera exhibits cellular grade of organization. Now the Cnidaria moves on to the next level, that is tissue grade of organization. Body wall is diploplastic. I told you about diploplastic in the previous video. What is the meaning of diplo? Two. Okay, two layers. An outer ectoderm and an inner endoderm are separated by a non-cellular jelly-like substances. That is called mesoglia. It is like a jelly-like substance. It has a central gastrovascular cavity called coelenteron. And it's with a mouth surrounded by a short tentacles. It has short tentacles, and the tentacle bear stinging cells called cnidoblast or nematocyst. What do you mean by nematocyst? These nematocysts are predominantly used for prey capture and defense, but also used for locomotion. Okay. Many coelentrates exhibits polymorphism. Here we need to see about what is polymorphism. Polymorphism refers to the occurrence of structurally and functionally more than two different types of individuals within the same organization. So within the same organization, they can occur structurally and functionally more than two different types. So they exhibit, most of the coelentrates exhibit this polymorphism in it. They reproduce by asexual and sexual methods. Hydra, jellyfish are few examples for this Cnidaria. These are all few examples of Cnidaria. Jellyfish not alone, jellyfish. Hydra, the first grey, that peach color picture is Hydra. Okay, Hydra, jellyfish are few more examples for Cnidaria. Next we need to see about flatworms. Before we see the flatworm, phylum Platyhelminthes, we should know about dimorphism, that is polymorphism, in detail using this picture. Even though it is not explained in a textbook, I give it as an extra knowledge work. Cnidarians exhibit polymorphism, meaning they have two different body types or planes. The sedentary and or sessile type that lives attached to the ground are called polyps. Most common polymorphism is polyps and medusa. Polyps and medusa exhibits the polymorphism. First one is polyps, second one is medusa. The first one attached to the ground. This medusa will not attach to the ground, it floats. The mobile type that floats is called medusa. Okay, it's a very commonly occurring polymorphism in this hydra. So next we shall move on to flatworms, that is phylum Platyhelminthes. They are bilaterally symmetrical. Triploblastic. What is the meaning triploblastic? Have 3 layers. Acoelomate. What do you mean by acoelomate? Without body cavity. Coelomate means body cavity. A means opposite to coelomate, that is acoelomate, without body cavity. Most of them are parasitic in nature. You know about parasites, isn't it? So they are suckers. Suckers and hooks help the animals to attach itself to the body of the host. Excretion occurs by specialized cell called flame cells. It is an important one word also. These worms are hermaphrodite, having both male and female reproductive organs in a single individual. One living organism will have both the sexual reproductive organs in a single individual. Example, liver flock and tapeworm. Next we need to see about phylum Aschelminthes. Another name for it is Nemohelminthes. Phylum Nemohelminthes. Another name also Nematoda. Simple name Nematoda. Aschelminthes are bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic animal. Let's see more about this Aschelminthes. Nema means thread and helminthes means worm. So Nemohelminthes is phylum Nemohelminthes, that is round worm. True to its name, phylum Nemohelminthes includes roundworms and threadworms. Let us study about these general characteristics of nematoda. Nematodes are free living or endoparasitic. Free living nematodes may occur in freshwater, sea or in soil. Parasitic forms occur both in animals and plants. So they have both the nature. They can live freely or they can be as a parasite. Nematodes have bilateral symmetry. You know about bilateral symmetry. Nematodes are triploblastic with 3 layers pseudocoelomate. Pseudocoelomate means the second layer is pseudo. Okay. Pseudocoelomate animals with 3 germ layer. These have an organ system level of body organization. Let's move on to the organ system level. Tissue level. First one is cellular grade. Second one is tissue level organization. Third one is this organ system level organization. The body is cylindrical and unsegmented. It is not segmented like earthworm. Okay, worm-like or thread-like with tapering ends. There is no head in this roundworm. It is complete straight tube with mouth and anus. See at the end. See this part. In male, the posterior end is often curved and bears a pair of chitinous spinal setae that helps in locomotion. This is its mouth. Mouth is with 3 to 6 lips having sensory papillae, that is called as papilla. Circulatory and respiratory systems are absent. Excretory tube and excretory pores are present. We need to see about phylum Annelida, that is segmented worms. These are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, first true coelomate animals with organ system grade of organization. Before that we see roundworms. They are also comes under the category that are triploplastic animals and organ system grade of organization. But what is the speciality here? The Annelida comes under true coelomate animals. That roundworms are pseudocoelomate. Here true coelomate animals. Okay, that is the differentiation between that roundworms and segmented worms. Body is externally divided into segments called metamers, joined by ring-like structure called annulae. It is covered by moist thin cuticle. Setae and parapodia are locomotor organs. Sexes may be separated or united. Example for this phylum Annelida are Nereis, earthworm, leech. Next we have to see about phylum Arthropoda, animals with joined legs. Arthropoda is the largest phylum of the animal kingdom. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploplastic and coelomate. The body is divisible into head, thorax and abdomen. Each thoracic segment bears paired joint legs. Exoskeleton is made of chitin and is shed periodically as the animal grows. The casting off and regrowing of exoskeleton is called as molting. Sometimes you might have observed this process in your cockroach at your home. Okay, you can observe this process of molting in the case of cockroach. Body cavity is filled with hemolymph, that is called blood. It will not be in red color because the blood cells will not contain hemoglobin in these animals with joint legs. So their blood will not be in red color. The blood does not flow in blood vessels and circulate throughout the body. That is called as open circulatory system. Respiration is through body surface, gills or trachea. That is air tubes. Trachea's other name is air tubes. Excretion occurs by Malpighian tubes and green glands. Sexes are separated. Example, prawn, crab, cockroach, millipedes, spider, scorpion, etc. Okay. Next we have to see about phylum Mollusca. Phylum Mollusca are the second largest phylum of invertebrate animals after these arthropodas. First largest is arthropodas, then second largest is phylum Mollusca. They are a diversified group of animals living in marine, freshwater and terrestrial habitats. Body is bilaterally symmetrical, soft and without segmentation. It is divided into head, muscular foot and visceral mass. What is this visceral mass? It is a fluid. Okay. The foot helps in locomotion. The entire body is covered with fold of thin skin called mantle. Mantle secretes the outer cover hard shell of the organism. So this mantle which secretes outer hard calcareous shell. Respiration is through gills or lungs or both. Sexes are separated with larval stages during development. Example, garden snail, Octopus. Next we need to see about phylum Echinodermata. Echinodermata, that is spiny skinned animals. Okay, let's see more about this Echinodermata. Echinodermata is one such phylum which is a group of spiny skinned animal. They are named accordingly from the Greek word echinos means spiny and dermos means skin. The most common example are starfish. There are a lot of starfish, sea cucumber, sea lilies, etc. are the example for this spiny skinned animals. They have a water vascular system which is a network of water filled canals. This water vascular system allows locomotion, respiration and feeding. Through this water vascular system only everything for the physical activity is given, that is locomotion happens, respiration happens, feeding also happens. The tube feet or a part of this water vascular system and contain most of the sensory neurons. They show organ system grade of the body organization. They are exclusively marine. Most of the starfishes are marine, free swimming or in sedentary form. Echinoderms are trypoplastic, coelomate, unsegmented and radially symmetrical. What is the meaning for triploplastic? They have 3 layers of germinal cells: ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So they have triploplastic organization. What is coelomate? True body cavity. Coelom is present. So they are called coelomate. They have numerous small movable tube feet that help in movement, feeding, respiration and excretion. Everything happens using this feet-like structure. Body parts are arranged around a central axis and the body can be divided into 2 equal halves by more than one plane. So it is called as radially symmetry. But their larvae are biradial symmetrical, can divide equally only in 2 planes. So biradially symmetrical. Respiratory organs include dermal branches, tube feet, respiratory tree and bursae. They have no excretory system. Excretion takes place by simple diffusion through the walls of rectal casa, gills and tube feet. They reproduced by both sexually and asexually. Fertilization is external and development is indirect, which includes a free swimming larva stage called pipinaria. Each larva stage have different name. For the starfishes it is called as pipinaria. Okay. For the larva of frog is tadpole, isn't it? Similarly the larva of this starfish is pipinaria. Okay. I hope you understand about the spiny skinned animals. We need to see about phylum Hemichordata. Hemichordates are marine organisms with soft, vermiform and unsegmented body. They are bilaterally symmetrical coelomate animals with non-chordate and chordate features. They have gill slits but do not have notochords. They are ciliary feeders and mostly remain as tuberculous forms. Let's see more about it. Phylum Hemichordata. Chordata is one of the major phyla in the animal kingdom, as we all know. This phylum has different sorts of species in the family. Due to a high number of species, there was a need to further classify the animals into 2 different groups because there is a small differentiation between this Hemichordata and Chordatas. Animals based on their patterns of embryonic development can be divided into 2 groups. One is protostomes, another one is deuterostomes. Any member of the phyla Chordata, Echinodermata and Hemichordata is in which the anus appears first, or deuterostomes. If the anus appears first in these categories, they are called as deuterostomes. Here in Hemichordata is a phylum that contains marine deuterostome animals. They are sometimes considered as the sister group of phylum Echinodermata because there is a close association between this Echinodermata and this Hemichordata. It is a small phylum with only 100 known species with animals having a worm-like appearances. These animals are also called as acorn worms. They do not have a post-anal tail or even the notochord, which is a distinguishing feature of chordates because chordates must have notochord. Here they do not have notochords. Hence these animals have been given a separate phylum called Hemichordata, that is half chordates. Hemichordata is a unique phylum of marine invertebrates. They are typically found in oceans, living in the seafloor. Some species may be solitary or some are colonial. Hemichordata are a bilaterally symmetrical and triploplastic animal. They vary greatly in size, ranging from a few millimeters to almost 1 and 1.5 meters. These species feed on small organic particles. They can either be filter feeders or substract eaters. The Hemichordatus body is divided into 3 parts as shown in the figure. The collar bears the tentacles in a few species. See the tentacles in the picture. In few species only these tentacles are seen. The trunk has the digestive and reproductive organs. You can see the trunk. Okay. The circulatory system is open type and respiration occurs through gills. A primitive nervous system is present. Sexes are separate or united and reproduction is mostly sexual reproduction. Fertilization is external and development is mostly indirect, but a few species exhibit direct development. Examples are given. Next we need to see about 17.3 chordata. Chordates are characterized by the presence of notochords, dorsal nerve cords and paired gill pouches. Notochords is a long rod-like support along the back of the animal separating the gut and nervous tissue. All chordates are triploplastic and coelomate animals. Phylum Chordata is further divided into 2 groups, Prochordata and Vertebrata. What are Prochordata? The Prochordata are considered as the forerunners of vertebrates. Based on the nature of the notochord, Prochordata is classified into subphylum Urochordata and subphylum Cephalochordata. Subphylum Urochordata. Notochord is present only in the tail region of free-living larvae. Adults are sessile-form and mostly degenerate. The body is covered with a tunic or test. The example has been shown. This Ascidian you might have been seen in many pictures. Next, subphylum called as Cephalochordata. Cephalochordates are small fish-like marine chordate with unpaired dorsal fins. The notochords extends throughout the entire length of the body as shown in the figure. Next we need to see about vertebrates. This group is characterized by the presence of vertebrate column or backbone. Notochords in the embryonic stage gets replaced by the vertebral column which forms the chief skeletal axis of the body. Vertebrata are grouped into 6 classes. All the 6 classes you might have been read and you might have been come under in your early classes. In our day-to-day life we are seeing these things. So I think there is no need for explanation about vertebrate. You go through this textbook and you will get the clear picture about this vertebrate. I like to wind up to this. All the best. God bless you.